Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and would be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Out-of-date carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at jococommunityradio.com.
Me and my crew, although we made it back, we on top. We keep on pushing by the raisin. We don't stop. No one can replicate the magic that we unlock. Cause we on top. Woo! Put your hands up in the air. 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 Put your hands up in the air.
Stop yet. Yeah, right. Welcome everyone to another edition of the Bombshell here on Joco Community Radio. I'm Tiffany Carlen with Lori Moore, the Bombshell Lori Moore. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear okay?
I can. Yeah, I could.
I think I got to turn my volume up a little bit.
I think I turn mine up a little bit too. Well,
okay, I'll do that while you say hi to everybody and let them know. So glad you guys can join us tonight. We're going to talk leadership. We're going to talk business and entrepreneurship and what it really takes to start your own business and the trials and tribulations and the successes and all the good stuff about it too. So but there's truly there's
so many different aspects to being in business, and that's way better.
I feel like I was going deaf.
I know. I was like, I can barely hear.
I know when Trina's on air, and I think I just yanked my headphones out completely. When she's on air, it's too loud for her, so we have to turn it down, and then it's the shift, and then I come in and I'm deaf. So, and I can only ever hear out of one ear in my earbuds too. So I don't know what the problem is, and it's not my ears.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like only one's working now, something like that.
So we've kind of been on a hiatus since the holidays. We both have had different things going on, sicknesses and other business things, and family things and all the things, which then when we sat down and started talking about our show kind of led us to what we want to we want to revamp everything and change everything around. So it's
Yeah.
we decided we want to talk about leadership in business and all the aspects that go with leaderships of business and
Well, and family and everything. I mean, which is, I mean, it all goes back to the original purpose of the show, but we really want to hone in more on being able to lift others and empower other women and men. We don't want to keep men out of this.
no, not at all. I mean, they're still a great part of, you have to have your, your our spouses are our support. And that's a big deal.
Well, and even men who are looking to jump in and dive in to start their own business too. But there's all aspects of that leadership that has to come together. Family leadership, your business leadership, your friendship leaderships and partnerships, and
Absolutely.
and how all of that's going to flow together. And sometimes when you're starting a business for the first time, you don't think about those things.
No, there's so many, and we've talked about that before. I'm like we wish that we could create a platform for
Hey, Alex.
all business where you don't just go open, you just don't rent a building if you're an on-site place. You don't just go rent a building, open the door, and here you are, here's your business. And you don't even start an online business by going, well, let me just create a website and then here I am. There are so many different things, and there are so many things that I've learned over the past 4 years, almost 4 years I've had the salon now. And there were so many things that I learned over these past 4 years that I wish that I had learned a long time ago about being in the business that I'm in. And, and I feel a great responsibility now to, take the people that, work for me and share my knowledge, not just the people that work for me, but the people that definitely people that work for me in my same industry and anybody else in this industry, and make sure that they're on the road to the right path, because I can see how much easier it's made my life.
Well, let's start there. Let's start with, where was it that you began and what steps led you to decide to open your own salon? I mean, you were already an entrepreneur, you were already your own business person. You didn't,
Yeah, it already
because
was.
most stylists are, so for most people who don't know how the industry works,
So
there's a salon owner and then you lease your
Well,
spaces.
you either lease or you're on commission. I mean, you're on a salary or, whatever. So there are several different ways to do it. I've been a lease person for a long, long time. And I owned a salon before. And when I owned my salon before, I was in a very different place. And I also didn't have the support that I needed back then. And so and it was really hard for me when I finally decided that I needed to close my salon. It made better financial choice. I mean, it made a better financial thing for me to close the salon. When I closed the salon, I never closed it with saying, I wouldn't go back and do this again. I felt bad because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm closing my salon because I'm trying to make a better, financial difference for my family. But at the same time, there's that part of us that goes, okay, I failed. I couldn't make it work. And it wasn't that. It just wasn't the right time for me.
Well,
And
it's a
then-
fail forward. It just because it doesn't work the
It's-
first time doesn't
right.
mean that it's not meant to be at some point.
Right.
Sometimes it's just timing too.
And I found myself, and I worked at several salons before I opened my own salon this time. And each salon that I worked at had its good points and its bad points. But at the end of the day, I've been able to go back and look and say, they were there for me at the time that I needed them to be there for me. I met women that I needed to work with that were positive and gave me the better change that I needed to make. I met different clients that are still with me, that have helped me grow and learn, and have become great friends. And so when the opportunity arose, and we've talked about that before, but the opportunity has arisen to open another salon. There were some plans that changed in the very beginning of all that, but I wasn't scared to do it. And so there were still some things maneuvering around, and I'm meeting with your husband about, now that I'm a little bit older and I can, know more about things, maneuvering around, meeting with an attorney to find out, like, what are the things that I need to do? What protects me? What are the best things for my business, and Todd and I had several conversations about, all kinds of things about, credit card machines and taxes and legalities and stuff like that are just so important today with the world that we're in. You've got to take care of yourself. And it's not just, I don't just show up at the salon in the morning and cut hair all day and lock the door and walk away. There's still always something, if I'm not dealing with it during the daytime, I'm dealing with it on the backside. But the one thing that I can say right now is, with the help of the people that work with me right now, we've created an amazing workspace, and we all enjoy our workspace. We love being there, and it makes me proud of the good days and even the bad days that made me pull myself up by the bootstraps and say, come on, keep going. And the more that I can share with other fellow salon owners or other business owners, and there's several people that I do, contact about. I do have a couple of other friends that own salons, around, and we will call and talk. And even if it's like, oh my gosh, have you been having this issue, or have you been having this problem lately, or how are things going for you? This is not working for me, or this is, what's working for you. And I'm thankful for those things. And so I never really, until you and I start talking about it, I never really looked at it as that's a leadership skill. The fact that I'm willing to share with everybody, the good, bad, and the ugly of being in business. It's a 24/7 job.
And you're a great leader.
So
I mean,
thank
and you
you.
really are. You have to look at turnover, retention, the people who want to come work
Yeah.
at your location.
Right.
It's about being part of a true
And I-
team, and you guys really do have great teamwork. But that speaks volumes to the leader, as you know. And I know you didn't get to attend,
I didn't.
but I took amazing notes to share with you and anyone else who wants them. And that was the Project U Leadership conference that took place last week, and I left completely on fire.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I don't think I put that. I think when I did my feedback thing, I didn't put on fire, because that's really. I said it when I walked out, and I'll say it again. I left feeling on fire, and I'm still on fire, and energized, especially from one particular speaker, and that was PJ Fleck. Sorry, he was my favorite. I love all of you speakers. You were all amazing, but there was something that he spoke to that resonated for me when it comes to leadership and so much more, that and community.
We're all in different places in our life.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, again, if we get into, if you want to get into the way society is right now, we have gotten into this, you like to be blonde headed and I like to be dark headed, but I'm not going to down you for wanting to be blonde, and I don't need you downing me for wanting to be dark headed. But if we are not on the same page and don't have the same feelings and the same same things that we think about, then all of a sudden we just are against that person. And we have got to learn that it takes everybody, takes all the colors in the world to make the world go around. And different people are at different places in their life, and that's why he spoke to you more than maybe some of the other ones did. Not that they didn't speak to you, but
they did. I mean,
where you're at in your life, he just really grabbed your heart.
It's what I needed to hear.
Right.
Truly, it's what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
When you've gone through the things I've gone through in the past 2 years, and I'm not focusing on it anymore, because it's part of the past, and it's exactly one of the things that he talked about was
you got to let it go.
You can't row the boat looking backwards.
Nope.
So, and there's so much that's to it, right? But it doesn't mean that the things that I haven't gone through in the past 2 years hasn't helped shape who I am today and how I'm going to move forward.
Right.
And so we have to take some of that bad and that negativity and turn it into the positive, so that we can grow from it. Right. You have to be able to grow from the experiences that you've had.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we'll dive into some of the takeaways from PJ Fleck. He spoke about row the boat. And row the boat. I said it just like a Minnesota person, I was just there.
Got back from there, yeah. So.
But and if you don't know who PJ Fleck is, I highly, highly recommend you go follow him on Twitter. Go follow the Minnesota Gophers. It's the University of Minnesota football team. And what I love, one of the things I really loved about what he said, and this comes down to your business as well, and even Joco Community Radio in here, and what we've built here from starting when Pam, the founder, our late friend, who passed away from brain cancer. It goes all the way back to that. It's about creating a culture. And that's something that PJ Fleck has. So you've created a culture in your salon that makes people want to come there.
Well, and what we have to remember is, and this is something that I struggle with, is I get in one little circle and I tend to stay there. Okay, well, this one's working pretty well right now, so let me just stay in this little circle and let me just keep rowing around this little circle. And we forget that in business, especially, even in life, in business, like, things change, times change.
Right.
And so we've got to learn you have to learn at some point in time what's good for the business. And there are times, instead of saying, well, this option's no longer a viable option that's making us money, which is obviously at the end of the day, we're trying to make money. We have to decide, okay, it's time to do away with these things and not allow ourselves to have the feelings that it was a failure. It worked at the time for a minute, but it's time to move on.
Right.
Fashions change, trends change, all, things, you just move on, and the move on things are better. You hope for the better. That's why they change.
Well, you're moving up.
Yeah. You're moving up, and being, mine for me is, understanding and realizing that, the people that have helped me get to where I'm at are truly a blessing to me, and to be thankful for the fact that they're a blessing. And, and tell them that, share that with them all the time, that they're a blessing and they take care of things that allow me to step back and take care of other things.
That's a big part of leadership, though. It's being able to, and this is one of the questions, and I can't remember which speaker actually asked it, but one of the questions was, where are you lacking in your leadership? And mine is most definitely, I have a challenge with delegating. And it's not that I don't want to give it up, it's choosing what to delegate. And so I'm working on that and trying to figure that out. And I have delegated a lot out, but I have to, there's more. I have to get more off of my plate so that I can move on and do more things, and focus on the bigger picture for the radio station, which is honestly what I have been doing, because we will be opening our second radio station this year. In Fort Worth. So super excited about that. That's down the road. There's a lot of other things going on in the meantime. So, and yes, so Lyric Lane just commented, she goes, yes, business is all about building relationships. It is completely about building relationships, whether it's within your organization,
right,
whether it's with your mentors and people that you used to work with, that people, that's the one thing I want to go back to this for a minute, because you talked about it being a leadership skill, me telling you that it was a leadership skill to be able to talk with other salon owners instead of looking at them as competition. You're helping each other.
Right.
That's what it's supposed to be.
And the hard part about that is it's not all of them. I mean, you have people in your
Sure.
life, when you call up somebody and you go, hey, what's going on? Like, how are you feeling about this right now? Like, let's talk. And when that person goes, yeah, I've been feeling the same way, and here's what I'm doing, and I'm struggling with it, but I'm going to do the best I can with it. Or it's the person that you call and you go, man, I'm really struggling this. And they're like, well, no wonder. I mean, because you suck. And why are you doing this? And you have to find that if it's the negative person in your life, then you gotta turn those people away too.
Oh God, I've been digging in so deep this week, especially yesterday. I did so much research and so much digging into information, and those people a lot of times have the spirit of Jezebel attached to them.
Yeah.
And that's and that creates issues within themselves, narcissism, their own insecurity and jealousy. When you see that, that is
absolutely,
that is it. So
we've had the conversation before too about people show us exactly who they are. We are the one that give them higher expectations than what they're able to give. And when we can learn to sit back and say, you know what, you have shown me exactly who you are, so let me put you in that place. And if you come up with something better, then you're a bonus, then you're a bonus to that. But then there are some people that just, it's a season, a reason, or a lifetime, they move on. And and my mom and I were having the discussion yesterday. I was telling you about their sermon, and their preacher said, one of the things he said was his grandfather told him, you can't take the stink out of a skunk. So
Yep.
sometimes they're just people you got to get rid of.
You do, and this is one of the sermons that I listened to last night. The pastor literally said, he goes, you can't just not you can't not fight the spirit of a Jezebel, meaning you have to stand up in a leadership position because Jezebel attacks leaders. And I don't want to get too much into this because we're going to bring somebody on one of the shows that's going to they're going to speak to this that whole topic of it, but it's fascinating. And
The
it's
devil's always going to come at you when you're doing the best.
oh yeah, but the Jezebel specifically comes after leaders. And so you have to be wary of what's going on around you. And what this pastor said was, and it's Pastor Robert Morris of Gateway Church in Colleyville. And is it Colleyville or one of the cities right there? And what he said is, but you have to remove them. You have to disconnect from these people completely.
Yep.
He goes, it's not let them stay in your church. It's not let them, still be a part of your social media or be a part of any circle that you're in.
Nope.
It is, you have to completely disconnect from them, or you risk letting it happen to you.
And the people that are taking the biggest advantage of you are going to be the people that come at you the hardest when you try to disconnect from them.
Oh, let me just tell you, Christina. Hey, Christina Scherer just commented. She said, it's a murderous spirit. And you are absolutely correct. And you said it exactly right too, Lori. It's when, and it's the perfect sign, because it's a sign of insecurity.
Right.
Is when you do try to disconnect from them, or you disagree with them, that they come, why do you disagree with me? Why don't you like me? Why aren't we friends? Why can't we? Okay, let's step back a minute here, and
Yeah.
let's get back into what position and what role
Right.
you
And
play.
you have to be take charge of it. And this is something that Jamie and I have been talking about a lot lately is, there are always going to be things that happen in life. We were kind of laughing this weekend over going over some things that, like as a young adult, as I was growing up, and things that had happened. And it was like, okay, well, next time you turn around, then this is happening and that's happening. This is happening. That's happening. And you just go, oh my gosh, like I just want to give up sometimes. But at the same time, when you can be in control of everything else, be in control of things you can be in control of, the chaos is not as chaotic. So
Right.
handle everything, be in charge of things you can be in control of, and your life won't be a total chaos.
Yeah. But chaos is, it happens.
Chaos is always going to happen. It's always going to
happens.
happen. It just depends on how you handle it.
Well, again, that comes down to good leadership too, because you have to be able to manage the good with the bad, and know where to put it, and what place and what role it too has in your life and in what's going on. So there's I'm gonna have to put my readers on to start reading some of this, but one of the things that PJ Fleck said that I found really powerful as well is you have to choose to be joyful.
Absolutely.
And this is a big part in leadership. He says not just happy, but you have to choose to be joyful. It's two different things. And that's difficult sometimes. I think we've all been through the stress of it, or the middle of the stress, and it can be very difficult to be in that joyful mindset. But you have to choose it, even if that means forcing it on yourself.
Right. It's the little things. I mean, when you have to, gosh, I listened to a lady, this has been a long time ago. It was back when Princess Diana was still living, actually. Went to a trade show where we listened to a motivational speaker, and the motivational speaker said, so you get up in the morning, and you get up, and you have electricity, and you had hot water, and you took a shower, and you got dressed, and you had clothes to wear, and you had hot coffee, and you got in the car, and you drove to work because you had a good car that worked for you, and you caught all of the green lights, and everything was a great day, and you walk in the door at the salon, and you trip over the rug, and your day is ruined. And he said, you just had 100 things that went well for you, and you chose to let one thing take you down. And that was kind of like, okay, we forget to
Right.
wake up and say, thank you for allowing me to be alive today.
Yeah, your
And
feet hit the floor.
Yeah. All the things and sometimes it's silly. And I've been to that point before where I was like, thank you that I can afford a Sonic drink, and thank you that I can afford blingy shoes, and thank you that I have a job that supports, my daughter and I, and until you get to the point where you just go, okay, really, Lori? Like, suck it up. Your day's not that bad. But then they also talk about the people that are in your life all the time. This is where Princess Diana one came in. He said, so you've got, like, for me in the salon, because this was a salon trade show, me in the salon, clients that come in every day, these people come in every week, every, couple of weeks, whatever. They're there all the time. And you halfway dress, you don't do your makeup, you care less whether the salon is clean. You just, you're just in a motion. You're just going through the motions of working. But Princess Diana calls and says, or her people call and say, hey, she's going to be coming through town and she'd love to have her hair done. And you immediately go buy new outfits, you paint the salon, you clean things up, and you're never going to see her again. You gave her more attention than you give the people that are truly the important people in your life every single day. And it's not saying that she's not important, but the people that are in your life every single day that we take advantage of are the ones we need to be thankful for. And those are the ones that help us become better leaders. Those are the ones that we can lean on when we are struggling. Those are the ones we can share with when we're having issues. So learn to count on the people that truly are there for you. And, the people that are one-timers, I mean, okay, sure.
I've had a similar thing said to me, when people come in and go, are you always dressed when you're on the radio? I'm like, well, even though people who are listening can't see me, it's for me and the people around me. If I don't take myself seriously and professionally on a daily basis, how will someone else take me that way?
Right.
How would someone who's working for me take that if I don't care as a leader, how can I expect my staff to take it seriously as
Right.
well? Or my customers. I mean, I do own another business.
You hold yourself to that standard. And that's what, on the days that I get up and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm just going to wear leggings and it's a half a day. It's raining outside. I'm going to throw some leggings on, a big t-shirt, put my hair in a ponytail. And I'm going to, I do have a ponytail today, but, I'm just going to roll up there.
Yeah, but what's wrong with a ponytail? You look
Well,
great. You get your makeup on, your lashes are on. I mean, it's all about how you feel.
But I sit and look at myself in a mirror all day long. So when I don't dress, then
it bugs you.
It bugs me because I'm the one that sits there and I'm like, it automatically kind of downs my mood. I feel like way less professional. I feel way less, and it is. I mean, I run a million errands today. I mean, yes, I went into Sam's in high heels and went to, I dressed for the day when I left.
Right.
And that was that. It makes me automatically feel better.
It does feel good.
Yeah.
When you look good, you feel good.
And it doesn't really take any longer time.
And by the way, when you look good, you feel good. That look good doesn't have to be the standard of other people's look good.
No, it's what makes you feel good.
Right. Exactly. And it just yes, Christine just said it's an absolutely psychological to see yourself as pretty completely and in whatever realm that is. I mean, I have several friends who hardly wear any makeup at all and stunning every time I see them.
Well, I saw one of our friends today that doesn't wear makeup but she still looks precious and her attitude is always precious.
Yes. That's the number. That's what it's all about.
It's what makes you feel good. But at the same time, go back to leadership. When we feel good about ourselves, we automatically feel stronger. We can handle decisions better. We can, whether we do have it together or not, it's an appearance of we do, we can hold it together.
It exudes confidence to your team.
Absolutely.
It exudes confidence to your team. If you were walking into your salon every single day, face drooped and letting the whatever that trip over the carpet or, you spilled your coffee or whatever, if you let that get to you and then you walk through that door and that's your focus,
right?
And then that's your attitude, it becomes a shit attitude for everybody around you too. So it brings everybody else down and sometimes you do have to fake it, but you know what? If you fake it into feeling better, you will feel better. That was one of the other speakers that said, you have to laugh. You have to laugh every day. So if it means you have to go like say have that psychotic,
right.
Make yourself laugh till you laugh, it works. We'll be right back after the break. Stay with us.
We on top. We on top.
Oh, that's good. Boy.
Accelerated Graphics and Science 101 East Renfro, Sweet C in Burleson, Texas, can handle all of your graphic needs. Need a banner or promotional products for your business? They got you covered. T-shirts and caps for your group. All you need to figure out is if you want them screen printed or embroidered. How about some slick graphics on that hot ride to make you stand out from the crowd? Accelerated Graphics and Science can handle anything you throw at them. Located at 101 East Renfro Street, Sweet C in Burleson, Texas, go in and see them. Call them at 817-991-0523 or reach them on the web at www.acceleratedgraphics.net. They are loud and proud and want to serve you. Accelerated Graphics.
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the second half of the Bombshell here on Joco Community Radio. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen, go to tuneinjoco.com. That's JOCO for Johnson County. And download the free app. All of our shows can also be found on any one of your favorite podcast platforms, such as Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and Spreaker. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. Thanks for tuning in. This episode and more are brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Storms happen. Hail happens. You got to have someone who's going to advocate for you. Fight in your corner to make sure your insurance company pays you the full amount of your claim, because 99% of the time, they don't want to pay the full amount of your claim. So you've got to reach out to your local sales representative, Nona Reed, at toll-free 844-TEX-HAIL. That's 844-TEXHAIL. Get her in your corner before the next storm hits. I'm Tiffany Carlen with Lori Moore here on the Bombshell. We're talking leadership and business and entrepreneurship and attitude and how all of that can affect your staff, your employees, and even your customers, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, could you imagine if I came into you to get my hair done, of which, by the way, you did a fabulous job on my hair this weekend. Thank you very much.
Somebody likes your hair.
Somebody likes my hair?
Christina.
Oh,
loves your hair.
thanks, Christina. Hello.
'Cause it's brand new
Lori
hair.
Moore. It's brand new hair. And it is. It's brand new hair, like as in it's new hair. Not, I mean, it's not it's mine now.
It's all new hair.
It's mine now.
Even if I had to work on my day off, it still
Yes, you
looks good.
did. You did.
But I made it good. It's, I mean,
it
you know,
was good.
yeah.
But imagine if I came in to you, even as a first-time customer, and you immediately started gossiping about people in town, or you just didn't have a great attitude with me, or you spoke down to your staff. Those, I wouldn't come back.
Right.
I wouldn't come
And
back.
there-
I mean, and
and
I've left being a customer at other places,
Right.
Not specifically a salon, but just other places for those reasons, because those are things that had happened, because I just was dumbfounded that someone would treat their staff that way, but that also as a new customer, you start gossiping about people in your town, and I mean, I've been in that position where I'm like, I don't know why they just told me that, because I didn't need to know that information.
Right.
Um,
And that's a sad part about, you know, instead of, if you truly hear, and not that, I mean, we're all human. We've all been caught up in it.
oh
We've
yes,
all, slipped up. We've all been in bad positions or whatever. But I think that's one of the things you just become more aware of. If you truly believe somebody's got a problem, then you reach out to that person and you talk to them and you make it right. It's not your job to go around and spread it to everybody else.
right.
So I don't know.
So Belinda just commented, and I really like this comment. It's an attitude of success.
Absolutely.
That is such a great way of describing it, because that's what it is. It is an attitude of success. And if you have an attitude of success, then that's what's going. It's see it, believe it, receive it. It's the law of attraction.
Right. Well, and it does. And so, that's another thing that we were just talking over the break. Like success is different things to different people. So, there are those of us who, own multiple businesses, and that's our choice in life. And there are people that they don't understand owning businesses because they don't want to own a business. And I'm thankful.
That's
for
okay
those,
too.
I'm thankful for those people too, as long as they're happy doing what they're doing, But then at the end of the day, I mean, if they're not happy doing what they're doing, then I can't, if
We can't control
I
that.
can't control it. I mean, if I can guide and talk to them and, help make a different decision or make a different route, okay, cool. But if I can't, then I still have to keep moving forward. There are people that don't understand, I've been told, being in the salon industry, I've been told it's not a real job. It's not a real career. It's not a real anything. And, Andrew and I say all the time, okay, well, come compare what we have to what you have. Yes, we may work a lot, but you don't know the stories that we could share that are good, the difference that we've made in people's life throughout the years. I mean, there are just some bone chilling stories that I could absolutely tell you. And that's the reason why we do what we do. And that's,
Yeah, but you're a trained professional to what you do. I mean, it's not just about the impact that you're having on, the people that you're working with and your customers, and listening to the stories. Because yes, it's. I mean, you're a therapist for a lot of people, right? I mean, just
Yeah.
like a bartender.
It's kind of like the truth serum chair sometimes.
But oh yeah,
It really is.
yes. There's no doubt. But there's an aspect to what you do as a hairstylist that is chemistry, and there's so much more to it that I can't do it. It's why I don't color my own hair.
Right.
It's why I don't cut my own hair. Now,
Right.
I have occasionally done a little personal trimming, but that's not been recently because COVID made me lose a lot of my hair. So I haven't touched it. But there's so much more than what you guys do. That's why you go to school to get a professional license for what you do.
Right.
I mean, I could not imagine, and I can't remember, was this something that happened, or they were trying to put out there last year? They were trying to make it to where you didn't need a license.
In multiple states right now, they're trying to deregulate the cosmetology license.
Bad idea.
So
Bad idea. And that could be very scary in
Can be very
a
scary.
multitude of ways
Right.
if you really don't know the science of the scalp and scalp conditions. I've had to see hairstylists before you started the Bombshell, and I had something really crazy going on with my scalp, and I had to find someone. I found someone in Fort Worth that could really hone in on what was going on
Right.
with it.
And there's
A trained professional.
but there are things that we've seen, I had, one client that she came into me with a significant hair loss, and we were talking, and and I'm not a doctor that can diagnose anything for her, but what I did tell her was it is certainly worth you going to see your doctor to have your thyroid tested, to be tested for diabetes, to be tested for a multitude of other things, because these are the things that affect your hair. And sure enough, she went in to her doctor and had some random regular kind of blood work done, and found out that she's severely diabetic. And so
Wow.
when she got on the right regimen for things like that, then her hair started getting, better. It's also, I've seen people that have growths in their scalp. And, I'm like, hey, that like I've seen this and I can't diagnose it, but if I were you, I would maybe want to go see the dermatologist and have this looked at.
How many?
And people have come back and said, they took this off, they did this, they did that. And, it makes a huge difference. So
I just wouldn't want to go to someone who wasn't trained.
Well, and I think that's what helps me when I'm having bad days is when I really pull it together and go, you know what, I can have a bad day and that's one thing, but I also affect so many other people's lives, and my job is to affect them on a good level, not on a bad level.
Absolutely. Emily Winter just said, they try to take the license away often, sadly, in your industry, and they just removed it in California.
It stinks.
Wow.
Well, hopefully,
I don't know why you
so
wouldn't
I
want to
don't know.
go get the education.
Right. Well, and here's the deal for California. They've kept them still shut down so much in California through COVID that at least maybe some of them can get back to work. If that's what's
what
going
it
to be,
takes.
there's not going to be licensing them anymore to, to keep up with them. Then that's what, then maybe that will help out.
That's a good point. Maybe that's why they did it.
So do you want to know one of my random things about being in a good mood and being in a bad mood? So my mom and I were out shopping yesterday and we were going to go by Central Market. The parking lot was absolutely stupid full at Central Market. I'm like, nope, we're going to World Market because we were just out piddling. We're in the World Market because I can park up close and I'm not going to walk through that parking lot. But when I get to work in the morning, when I'm the last one there and I have to park the furthest out, it makes me very thankful and feel very blessed. Because I know
it's a full parking lot.
It's a full parking lot, and that's what I need. So I like when I pull in the last parking space, that makes me giggle because I'm like, this is mine, and I had to park in the furthest out parking spot, but it's amazing,
It is a really great thing to be proud of. To own your own business and to feel good about the success or the steps that it's taking.
Yeah.
I own a company called the Tiffy LLC, which is launched. It came about from a product that I invented 12 years ago, almost 12 years ago.
Wow.
Because it was Easter. It'll be 12 years.
Wow.
And if you remember, 12 years ago here in North Texas, we went from like 80 to 30. It was like overnight. It was a crazy.
Yeah.
So anybody who, set and had their Easter outfit set out and you're going to go to church and look so pretty. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? This was short sleeve.
Yeah.
And I'm claustrophobic. So I don't like to wear a lot of layers. So if I wear a coat, it's got to be like a really big coat. I got to have a lot of room in it. And I was like, and I don't want to ruin this outfit. So what am I going to do now? I wish I had a way to turn this short sleeve shirt into a long sleeve shirt without ruining it, without ruining the short sleeve. And I went to church and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I told my mom about it. And I started cutting sleeves off of long sleeve t-shirts that I didn't wear anymore. And I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. This is great. Todd had left. He'd gotten on the road that night to go back to Lubbock. He was still going back and forth after we moved back. And so here I am this whole week. I'm now drawing out
Cutting up
patterns. Yeah, I'm cutting up clothes and making patterns and going, okay, well, I got to make this work for everybody.
Mhm.
So called up my mom. I was like, Mom, I have this cool idea, I think. I was like, let me show it to you. So she came down, spent the week at my house, and she sewed the first pair of Tiffy sleeves. And we just thought it was appropriate to call them Tiffy sleeves. It's Tiffy is what my parents called me when I was little.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of worked. And I kind of went off the name of the Dickies, off of Dickies. I was like, well, the Dickies. I'm like, Tiffy sleeves. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So they turns a short sleeve shirt into a long sleeve shirt without attaching to your clothing. It's got an always stretch to it. I designed them so that, they're comfortable and easy to put on, take on and off without having to layer. They're literally two separate sleeves that you just slide on and off as you need to. And then that evolved into a scarf. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm making accessories that you can wear all season long. And I wanted to offer more. I didn't want someone to just go to my website or come to me and go, that just this one product, that's it. And I honestly, I don't even know how the scarf thing came about. I think it was because I saw this beaded scarf that was made in China, and it was literally made, the fabric was literally the same fabric that they used to make the inside of the roof of a vehicle.
Oh gosh.
So there was no stretch to it or anything. So we make those completely by hand. And then I was like, well, that's a lot of leftover fabric.
Mhm.
And that's where I came up with the forever scarf. So it's a infinity type scarf that you can wear 40 different ways, and we show you how to do it. But when I started to do this, half the stuff I needed, I couldn't find on the internet. I couldn't find a
Well,
manufacturer.
the
I
internet
couldn't.
has grown so much since then
Oh,
too.
it's
So
amazing.
way more legwork back then.
Stuff that I search for now
Yeah.
that I was searching for 12 years ago, and to a point of near frustration, or I'm sorry, to a point of frustrations,
Yeah.
and definitely tears of like, why can't I just find, this, or sourcing this and
And then
doing
you've
that?
tried to stay American made and American
And I
bought and
am.
American sourced, and
I am.
so yeah.
Yeah, I get my fabric from California, which does come from China. I'd love to find, and I'm still seeking a homegrown fabric manufacturer in the United States. But I manufacture right here in the United States. So, and that was important to me. And
Yeah.
that was a challenge. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, that was a challenge to be able to be cost effective and manufacture products in the United States. In the United States was crazy. Learning packaging, finding the exact type of packaging that you wanted, not being happy with it for like 5 years, changing your label. How do you want to market? What's your colors?
So
Copyrights,
those are part of the things that
trademarks.
people don't like owning a business. Those are the things that people don't understand that you have to go through. It's not just I need an accountant, I need an LLC, I need an attorney, I need this. It's websites and copyrights and branding and what works and what doesn't work. And it's in all businesses. I mean, there is just
Budgeting. Budgeting.
And understanding that you have to, if you have this much money, you need to know where this much money is being spent at. You need to come up with all of your, profits and losses and all the things that, all the things about it.
Well, and understanding what ROI is, return on investment.
Yeah.
You have to know that you're, if you're, let's say you own a boutique and you're reselling, clothes and products and other stuff that somebody else makes, you have to understand what's the return on the investment. For me as a manufacturer, I had to learn the formula for immediately pricing for not just retail, but for wholesale.
Right.
And there's a formula for that.
Right.
And so, I mean, it was an enormous amount of research. I'm not done researching. I'm still researching.
No, it's a constant thing because the numbers are constantly changing, especially with the way that things are right now. And people don't understand. You have several of my friends in this industry, and they've talked about, they're having to increase their prices and it's so hard for us because we feel like the people that sit in our chair they're our friends, and we don't want to charge them more money. But across the board, like our product cost has gone up about 25% in the past year. And not only that, but it's hard to find.
Right.
We're running into shortages and things like that.
Well, and you said too, and then you've got one whole supplier that's they're discontinuing two of your favorite products.
More than that, and I just have words with them, and I still don't understand. This is where I would like to know more about it, because I straight up emailed them and I was like, hey, this has been one of your best selling products for 30 years. Like, I've used this product. I know a million people that have already reached out to me and said, how come we can't get this product anymore? And I messaged them and said, why are you discontinuing this product? It's been a bestseller for 30 years. And they said, it's a marketing issue. I'm sorry, a marketing issue? How does a company take one of their number one best sellers and decide that they're going to discontinue it because it's a marketing issue? It's selling itself. Like, what is it? I would like to sit to that. I would like to talk to that marketing person and find out, like, what are we going to do?
There's something deeper behind
that. I know.
that.
But I know enough to know that that was a BS answer what they gave me. And then I was like, and I also heard that there's other products. Can you give me the whole list? And they're like, we don't have a whole list. Are there other things you're worried about? I'm like, I'm worried about this one and this one and this one. So what is your problem? Like, what's your solution to this problem?
They're going to come out with a brand new product that's going to replace that one that's most likely the same formula, but they've changed the packaging to make it bigger and better.
They've changed their packaging over the years, and that hasn't been a big deal.
Well, I had this issue a little over a year ago, getting one of my eye creams, And it's because they were changing the packaging. And so I had to wait until their
Right.
new stuff was on
Yeah.
the shelf. But speaking of marketing and packaging, there was one of the speakers at the leadership conference was Lori Vincent, who is absolutely amazing marketing professional, and she usually speaks just to economic development corporations, but when she was asked by our ADC, which put Project U on here in Burleson, she said yes, and knew what she wanted to speak on. So, but this is one of those things that when you're starting a new business, that you have to budget for, and most don't. They
Right.
don't budget for marketing,
Right.
and that is the number one thing you have to budget for after you budget out your project or your service. And budgeting for a product or service is two completely different things. Because
Absolutely.
when you're marketing a service, then there's usually no overhead for the product,
Right.
except for your time,
Right.
and you have to account for that time.
Right.
And so you have to budget your marketing and your time, and what is your value per hour.
Right.
So, and then it's different when it's the product. You've got to budget based on the return on the investment, to make sure you're covering everything, and even enough so that you can run a sale on your product, but that it also is affordable on the wholesale side too, because you don't want to price yourself out of your own market, and that's how a lot of businesses fail. But you have to market your business, whether it's running ads in a magazine or it's running ads on social media, wherever the impact is that works for you. And this is one of the cool things that Lori provided at the conference. The difference between, I got to put my peepers on. I can't see. The difference, the things that have changed over the past few years.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Oh, it's insane. So check this out. In 2015, your first impression with someone took 9.5 seconds. In 2020, that dropped to 9 seconds. In 2022, right now, people make their first impression of you in 6 seconds.
Yes.
6 seconds. That's how long you have to make the first impression on, and you don't even have to look at it from just a business perspective. Look at it from a leadership perspective. Look at it from meeting a new friend, someone, in any realm. You have to look at that. 6 seconds. They've already made a decision, but that's how fast our world has changed and how quickly someone will decide whether they like you. So you've got to be you, and you got to get your message clear and across in 6 seconds. And sometimes that's how your face looks.
Exactly. So there's a, I always have
To
to
go,
ask her.
you keep
I've
scrolling.
never gotten. So there's a book that my friend told me about, and it is. I just have to
Keep
ask her.
scrolling till you get to it, but it comes down to. I always think this term is funny, but it just is funny. RBF.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well, and you don't understand.
If you don't know what RBF is, it's a term, resting bitch face.
Yeah.
And some people have it because they just have a bad attitude, and some people don't know that they have it. And it's sometimes it's just shyness, insecurity, whatever.
Right.
But I don't know. Take a few pictures of yourself, or look at pictures that people have taken of you, and just review your face and think about it. Think about what you're doing when you meet someone new.
Right.
Raise your eyebrows a little bit. Smile.
Even walking into the grocery store, smiling at other people. I mean, that may be the only smile that they see today.
Right.
Being polite to people. I mean, I was up at Ulta earlier today, and I, on Mondays I run errands, and I run them at like, Superman speed. Like, I'm in and out of places so fast, it's crazy. But I ran it. I got out and I started walking. There was a lady on a walker, and she felt me coming up behind her because I got clicky boots on. And she goes, "Honey, you might as well go around me. It's going to take me 20 minutes past you, and before I ever get there." And I said, "Well, how about if I just stand here and open this door for you?" And so I held the door open for her, and she went. Well, because she took a couple steps in, she was like, "Well, I'll hold this door open for you." And it was just like, I mean, I could have just zipped around her and not ever said anything, because she kind of gave me permission, or I could have just been rude and wit about her. But you just handled the situation completely different. So she walked into the store with a different attitude, asking the girls in there what she needed help with. And so there's a book. Mel Robbins writes a book called The 5-Second Rule. And so the 5-second rule is like you already see, like if you walk in a room and you're like, oh my gosh, I really like that girl's hair, and you don't say it
Right.
within the first 5 seconds, you won't say it.
Yep.
And so you have to make that. He talks. I haven't got to read the book. One of my other friends has the book and she's read it, and she's told me about it several times. Like, I need to go home and read it or order it tonight. But she's, we've talked about that multiple times about, the first thing that comes out of your mouth, as long as it's, as long as it's positive and thankful and stuff like that. But we don't say things that we should say oftentimes.
And we should. We need to empower each other in that way, especially women, and especially today, ladies. We have to empower each other. And is it the high five habit or it's the 5-second rule?
5-second rule.
Okay, so she's got several
by Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get a link to it so I could share it.
Also, she said the high five habit is a really good one too.
Okay, so that's the first one I saw. So look up books by Mel Robbins. Here actually I found it on Amazon. So just search for her on Amazon, and both of her books will come up. But yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, it takes 5 seconds to give someone a compliment. It takes even
be the only compliment that person gets that day.
Right. There's so much. We're gonna be talking about these speakers and possibly have several of them on the radio that were at the Project U, because there was so much to it. I want to make sure we end, because I brought up PJ Fleck's book, Row the Boat, that he wrote with John Gordon. And again, if you don't know who PJ Fleck is, he's the head football coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, which is one of my husband's favorite teams. I've got that sweatshirt I stole from him 20 years ago and never gave it back. I borrowed it. And anyway, he's created a culture for this team. So I just purchased 2 books. They just got here, and we're going to be giving away one of these books on either the morning show or maybe even next Monday night here on the Bombshell. We'll figure that out. So you're going to want to tune in, and you're also going to want to pay attention to the Joco Community Radio Facebook page and Twitter and all of our social LinkedIn, everywhere, because we're going to tell you how you can win this book from us. But I wanted to leave you with this: the Row the Boat. There's a whole culture about it. There's so much to it, but there's 3 parts to rowing a boat. There's the oar, there's the boat, and then there is the I lost my word, the compass. Right?
Yes.
You got to have a compass. You have to have direction. So the oar is your energy. So it's however much energy you put into something, but also you can't. And he said it just like this: don't let the haters take that energy from you.
Right.
Don't let them take it from you. The boat is the sacrifice. It's the sacrifice you make to get where you're going. And the compass is the direction of your life. So serve and give. And then also you want to, I mean, I have like lines that I went from there, and like, I was like, oh, it's too good. I got to find an empty space. You got to want it, and you've got to surround yourself with other people who want it and who can help you get there, and who you can help get there. And final, there's only 3 ways to avoid critics: say, do, and be nothing.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm doing. How about you?
It's hard. No, yeah.
We just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Got to row the boat.
Keep going.
All right. Be joyful.
Don't get stuck in the past.
That's right. Be joyful. We'll see you back here next Monday. Stay tuned. Tish Ross is next with No Judgment Here.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.